Hey everyone, welcome back to Retroactivemart. Today's video, we are gonna look at some POGs. Who remembers POGs? Let's get into it right now. Here we go.
Adrenaline, retro rewind, nostalgic vibes, 'cause we got fried. Plastic, gold, buried deep, hit the jackpot. Monsters, robots, dinosaurs, all we ever sought.
Alright guys, and we're back on Retroactivemart. Welcome back. And today I thought I'd do a cool little retro flashback from back in the day. And who remembers POGs? They were all the rage in the 90s, and you could collect POGs in these little tubes, containers. Yeah, put them in there and store them. Different colored ones. I have that green one and then a black one. There's even larger containers that you could get that were quite a bit taller to put all your POGs in. This one is officially licensed product of the World POG Federation. And today's POGs we are going to look at are some interesting ones, some rare ones, and they are these ones. These are Double Dragon POGs. Back in the day, when POGs was all the rage and everybody wanted a piece of the pie, Imperial Toys got a little creative and they wanted to get into the POG race just like any other toy company. And what they did was they went out and bought licensing for Double Dragon. And at this time, I believe there was a Double Dragon cartoon, a short-lived cartoon, and they bought the rights to it, made a licensing deal with Double Dragon in that show, and put out POGs. As you can see here on the back is this one. It says Imperial 1995 Slammer Whammers Double Dragon. That's what they called their POGs, was Slammer Whammers. And as you can see there, it was a Japan corporation that gave them license to put out these Double Dragon POGs. So that is really cool. And that is how Imperial got into the POG game and beefed up their POG game and went with a Double Dragon cartoon licensed product. So I have 24 Double Dragon POGs here, and we're going to take a look at all of them quickly. I believe there were 25 or maybe even more than that in the set. Excuse me. I don't have the whole set, but this is the first one. This is POG number 1. It is Billy and Jimmy. And let's take a look at the second one. Here's POG number 2. This one's Jimmy Lee. Very neat. And yeah, all the backs are just like that. And I have another Jimmy Lee here. These type of POGs, which Imperial, like I said, called Slammer Whammers. These Double Dragon ones were actually quite hard to find back in the day. They didn't produce a whole bunch of them. And even nowadays, they're really hard to find. Here's another Jimmy Lee with another cool little background there of the cartoon. That's number 5 in the set. So yeah, they are extremely, well, not extremely, but they are very difficult to find nowadays. Here's Shadow Master, card POG number 6. And here is POG number 7, Billy and Jimmy again, in a different different pose, different scene from the cartoon. That's Pog number 7. There's Pog number 9. We got Billy and Jimmy again in another scene. I always thought Pogs were very interesting. As part of my childhood, I collected a whole bunch of them when I was a kid. I remember collecting the Simpsons ones. They were really cool. And here's another number 9. And then we got number 10, Jimmy Lee, number 10. And we have a number 11, Billy Lee. Very cool. And then we have another Billy and Jimmy. That's number 13. And then they change colors with other ones. This is number 16 we have here. I believe this is the second series, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's the second series. This one says Vortex. That's number 16. And number 17 here is Trigger Happy. Pretty cool. And then we have Kona, number 18. Geez, who remembers the Double Dragon cartoon? I don't really remember it too much. And then Billy Lee again. It's not going to focus. There you go. That's number 21. Here's 22. We have Michael from the cartoon. Yeah, how many of you remember this cartoon? Did you used to watch it on Saturdays? This is Marion, number 23. Pretty cool. And then we have Billy Lee again, number 24. Oh, this one is one of my favorites. I like Jawbreaker. Pretty cool here. This is number 25 of Jawbreaker. And yeah, like I said, Slammer Whammers is what Imperial Toys called their Pogs. So they had to think up of a different name. Here's another Jawbreaker, 25. They had to think up another name because, of course, Pogs was trademarked and everything. So they couldn't just call them Pogs. Here's Shadow Warriors, number 26. So they went and changed, or not changed, but they went and called their Pogs Slammer Whammers, which doesn't really have this the same ring as Pogs. And then here's Countdown, number 27. And number 28, we have Ice Pick. And then our last one, these ones were like special Pogs in the set, or special Slammer Whammers in the set. They weren't numbered. I believe they were like a subset with a different rarity to get in a pack, like one in every 8 packs or whatever it was. I forget what the rarity was, but anyways, they had these ones with just the little gold foil on them. And this one is the Dragon Cruiser, where the Double Dragon boys rode in on the cartoon. And that is that. Yeah, these are the special insert ones. So that is what I have for you today here on Retroactivemart. Just some Pogs, flashback to Pogs. How many of you collected these? Did you know about Double Dragon Pogs? And how Imperial Toys made them and called them Slammer Whammers. Double Dragon Slammer Whammers. Alright guys, thanks for joining me today here on Retroactivemart. That's what I got for you today. Thumbs up, and we'll catch you again soon. Alright guys, peace. Remember to stay retro, everyone. Bye-bye, and take care. See ya.